Okay, so Patrick, this week in trading history, we go back to Ben Bernanke and one of his famous speeches. Why don't you just take it away, bud? Tell us all about it.
Well, it's a famous speech. It's probably the most famous speech in terms of going back to something that was said. So here I've got the Board of Governors, Federal Reserve System testimonies, all of the different pre scheduled statements, and it was back in on March 28th of 2007 when Ben Bernanke testifying in front of Congress, and he makes the famous statement, right? And let me
What was
just
that? What did he say, Patrick?
well, what I've got here, if I'm going to find it, hold on a second. So I'll So it goes, although the turmoil in the subprime mortgage market has created severe financial problems for many individuals and families, the implications of these developments for the housing market as a whole are less clear. The ongoing tightening of lending standards, although an appropriate market response, will reduce somewhat the effective demand for housing, and foreclosure properties will add to the inventories of unsold homes. At this juncture, however, the impact on the broader economy and the financial markets of the problem in the subprime market seems likely to be contained.
There you go. Bingo. You got it. The subprime market is contained. Okay.
Subprime crisis isn't contained. In fairness, when Ben Bernanke said this, it was March 28th of 2007. The market did proceed because in the prior month, the stock market had like a 10% downdraft when the initial shock of some of the initial subprime stuff started coming out. The market did proceed over the next 4 months after March up until June, July to actually rally 10%. So Ben Bernanke said this, and the market continued higher. Reminiscent a lot of bulls such as yourself getting all caught up in Powell's panties. But the market proceeded to rise.
Come on, that was funny, man. I like that.
And then, of course, it started roughly in June, but it was really the event in June, July in 2007 when Bear Stearns had to stave off the collapse of two of its hedge funds in the subprime space that were basically being zeroed out. They had no market on the subprime shit that they were leveraged on. And that really marked, in my mind, the true beginning of the liquidity crisis. That's where all the TED spreads were blowing out, all the money markets started to break down. And even though the market proceeded to retest those highs, if not made it a little higher high in October, that really did mark the turning point in the bull market. But it was that statement that it was contained that was really one of the more interesting statements that Bernanke is so well known for.
Right. So listen, Patrick, I put together some statements. I don't really think it's that bad, and I put together some statements that maybe will give Bernanke some solace when he's thinking about this. And I thought you might be interested. I'll go through them with you here. This is by Thomas Watson, chairman of IBM in 1943. He says, "I think there is a world market for maybe 5 computers." And then here, Decca Record Company, when they passed on the Beatles in 1962, said, "We don't like their sound and guitar music is on the way out." And here's one of my favorite ones. United Artists, a movie company, says something about, after rejecting Reagan as the lead in the 1964 film The Best Man, he says, "Reagan doesn't have that presidential look." Okay, so I thought that one was good. Here we go. Let's see what else we got here. Let's just see. There's more here. Oh, this is one of my favorites. Very topical today for Boeing. This is a Boeing engineer after the first flight of their 247. a twin-engine plane that holds 10 people. They said there will never be a bigger plane built. 10 people. So, history is filled with stupid shit like this that Bernanke said. And to be fair to Bernanke, he's got to say that. He's the chairman of the Federal Reserve. What's he supposed to do? He's supposed to say, God, watch out. The world's coming to an end. He has to come up there and say positive things. But that doesn't stop us from making fun of him. Because, I've
always said this, even in my master's courses that I teach at Big Picture Trading, I always say those people in positions of power, they can't say what the truth really is. They have to say what people need to hear.
That's right. What is it, Junker, that says when the going gets really serious, you got to lie?
Yeah.
I think Junker said that, but the reality is when the going gets really serious, he has to have another drink. But because that guy is maybe he has to have another drink and then also lie. They have to at the very least put the most positive spin they can
Glass half
on
full.
it.
Glass half full.
So
because listen, can you imagine the statement was said otherwise? That the subprime is probably going to create a crisis and shit's about to hit the fan.
Yeah, that's right.
Can you imagine he said that?
Battle your hatches. Get ready for the stuff to really hit the window. Get ready, boys.
But this is why I kind of laugh when everybody hangs on the Fed statements. The key is not to listen to what they say, but what they do and how the market is moving forward. You have to go beyond the words, because the words are just a scripted thing that has always got a bias as to what we need the market to believe or what they need to hear. That's not really the truth.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. But that doesn't stop us from making fun of them. So, anyways, that's a great This Week in Tales, This Week in History.
It's one of Bernanke's famous moments, right?
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. And it was this week, way back when, that it happened. And it's one for the history books. It'll be on his tombstone. This was contained.